is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Oh, look who we have.
It's a beautiful day. Got our man, Jim from Minneapolis. We're going to take it by storm.
Taking it by storm, baby.
I love that. That's a great saying, man. Hey, what's happening, brother?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Good, man. Yourself?
Oh, man. It's been the most incredible couple of days since when I called in on Friday, Litecoin busted out of that consolidation on the 2-hour chart.
Okay. And
it just never looked back. It did a 100-point ABC up, and now it's very extended the way I look at it. But holy, I mean, it went up to $420 last night.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's not Tom, it's Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN headquarters. It's 3 p.m. on Friday, final hour of the trading week. Tom is away on business today, so I'm fortunate to fill in for that seat. We got quite a market today, so excuse me. Markets in the red. Dow Jones negative 93, off about 1/3%, trading 25,081 currently. You got the S&P's minus 3 points, trading 2778. Nasdaq minus 15 points, trading 7745, and the Russell just 1 point in the negative, trading 1683. If you didn't have a chance to be following the market today, you wouldn't think anything was going on with the tame market, but we were down 200+ points in the Dow at one point. We had some negative action. Let's jump over to some of these charts and take a peek at where we've been today. Quite an acceleration to the upside began at about 2 o'clock. We'll see if this hour holds anything similar. So NASDAQ 100 currently trading 72.82. We're off the lows by about 35 NASDAQ 100 points. Yesterday, of course, Thursday, you had the NASDAQ reaching all-time highs. We'll see if the NASDAQ can do it again today. We only got about 15 points to get into the positive, and we got an hour of trading left, and man, that 2 o'clock hour was quite an hour indeed. So NASDAQ 100, 72.83. Jumping over to the S&P 500, again, quite an acceleration. Lows across the board for all the markets, about 10:30, 10:40 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. The S&P 500 reached a price level of about 27.65. We're talking about the September futures contract. From there, we go 27.65. We're a solid 20 points about on the S&Ps above that level. Big numbers. I mean, you're talking about an index where 27 points is 1%, and we're now 20 points off that low. It's quite a day. Dow 30, though, look at that acceleration. If you're in your car, you listen to the radio, 2 o'clock on the dot, we're trading at 24,972, and in the span of an hour, we trade up to almost 25,150. Big numbers, and from there, we're pulling back a bit, 25,103. Lows of the session, 24,912. So we're almost 200 points off the lows that we had, and we're still down about 90 points. At 10:30 this morning, when you had the Dow down 250 plus, we saw a little action in the VIX. We saw a little bit of fear. And what is that fear coming from? So this morning, we wake up to the news, the Trump administration slapping a 25% tariff on up to $50 billion with a B of Chinese goods. So that story rolls out. Excuse me, not long after, talk about 30 minutes, China rolls out that they're going to slap them right back on us. And that's how the trade wars will go sometimes. And that puts some fear in the market. But guess what? 10:30 in the morning, things turned around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Might as well be all forgotten. So you have the stories breaking down with more and more details coming out. And to put it, so here is the China reaction. You have trade tensions between the U.S. and China ratcheted up after the Asian nation said it will follow through on plans to levy tariffs on a range of American goods in retaliation, including soybeans and corn. So the additional 25% tariff is going to be levied on about $50 billion of U.S. imports, China's Ministry of Finance said Saturday in a statement on its website. About $34 billion of those imports will start July 6th, covering agricultural products, including soy, corn, wheat, rice, sorghum, not sure what that is, beef, pork, poultry, fish, dairy, nuts, and vegetables. So, and then what's going to happen is the additional $16 billion, I believe, will come for further evaluation. So let's see, the remaining $16 billion will be at a later date, perhaps if the U.S. retaliates on this set. We'll see what happens. Should be interesting. We'll see what happens over the weekend. That's for sure. Other news we have coming on in the market. So how about Apple in the terms of the content battle? Of course, this week you had the AT&T Time Warner deal getting approved. That set the stage for media companies, content companies, ISPs, and Apple getting into the business. Yesterday, the news was that Apple was working with a company for a movie, for a cartoon, for their own content, and then today you come out, Apple signing Oprah to make original programs. So they're going to talk about original programs. That's, who knows what that's going to be, right? It can span a lot of things. But you can see how these companies, content is going to be king, and Apple reportedly committing $1 billion with a B to original content. And I would say it's not a coincidence that you get one day that they're signing deals with animated studios to produce movies, and the very next day you have news coming out that they're signing Oprah. We'll see what happens next week. Story breaking this afternoon, pretty interesting. You have General Motors considering listing shares of their Cruise self-driving unit. So General Motors is going to consider listing shares of its autonomous driving technology unit, Cruise Automation, and that's a report cited from Bloomberg. So the country's biggest automaker is in talks with banks already about options for the unit, including listing it as a separate stock or spinning it off from GM. And to jump over and see how the market is reacting, quite a reaction for sure. I assume that if you, and I don't, but if you understand the fundamentals, that is a unit that probably has vast possibilities if it were ever to take off to the upside. And the fact that maybe GM shareholders may be able to collect a little bit of cash as they spin that off, put it into its own equity, maybe they gain shares of that by themselves. You had GM spiking right on that news. We were trading at about $42.90 prior to that news coming out. GM spikes a solid $2 to the upside, all the way to $45, pulled back a bit. Still, you got GM shares up almost 2% on that news. Big number for sure. And what do we have going on with the VIX? So let's see. As we saw the market cascading this morning, and it correlates to the area we were looking at. 10:40 a.m. this morning, we saw lows across the board in the markets. You had the Dow down about 250 plus points at one point. We saw the VIX spiking above 1310. Still, historically, so low. I mean, it would make sense. You have the market climbing on a continual basis, but pretty remarkable that you can have the Dow down 250 plus, VIX spikes to 1310, and then guess what? It's all forgotten. We've gotten quite an acceleration to the upside. VIX now 1208 and approaching 11 territory. And again, as we have almost a full hour, we're talking about 45 minutes left in the trading day, and we'll see where those markets go. In terms of other news you have going on out there, let's jump over to the crypto world. So you saw this week, we had the SEC talking about that Bitcoin, Ether are not considered securities. And so on that spike, and you can even see these spikes still in the chart. This spike here, and I'm looking at Ether yesterday on that news, not considered securities. What are considered securities, though, are the ICOs. And where the difference there is going to be is when you have a company behind a certain one of these cryptocurrencies, and that's what happens on many of these ICOs. TFNN could have their own ICO, their own initial coin offering, but that would be a TFNN ICO, and that's where the SEC is saying, you know what, you're issuing a security for TFNN, and you're talking about people profiting. But good news, if you're a Bitcoin, if you're an Ether holder, as we saw these spike, and they've just kind of been hanging at these levels. Bitcoin, though, 65.41. We'll see where we shake out. Come on back, folks. Dow down 93. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Until recently, it was almost impossible for the average investor to hedge against currency risk in Europe or Japan. For a bold trade on Europe or Japan that protects against moves in currency, trade HEGE or HEGJ, 2 times currency hedged leveraged ETFs from Direction Investments. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Tom takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien. We got the Dow currently down 99 points, trading just above 25,000. We'll call it 25,075. S&P's currently negative by 5. Those futures, S&P's at one point even came into positive territory there. And NASDAQ currently off by 18. We've trailed off a little bit. Highs of the session reached at about 2:55 p.m. Eastern Time in the Dow. We're as high as about 25,143. We're now about 60 points below that level, trading 25,083. Pretty similar as well in the S&P. Highs at about 2786. We're now about 5 points below that level. We've reached basically just above break even on the S&Ps, and NASDAQ 100. Pretty similar story as well. A little bit off there, but off the highs. NASDAQ 100 reaching 7293, coming back to 7278 currently. So I wanted to jump over. We have stories here, of course. Big story in terms of AT&T deal going through with Time Warner, and then of course we have Disney going after Fox, 21st Century Fox, their assets. You have Comcast, coming in, upping their bid. I believe it was $65 billion for Fox's unit over there for talk about content distribution, and then stories coming out. So AT&T, their deal closing with Time Warner, and so now what becomes is that AT&T is going to begin giving away free TV to its wireless customers now that the Time Warner deal is done. So what this consists of is that you're going to have AT&T, and they're going to be launching a variety of bundles. And so what's going to happen here, and I'm interested to get Dave White's take on this. He's going to be coming back at 3 o'clock next segment, well, 3:30, for the Tech Insider. So TFNN is a media company, and where this is going to play in is what happens with the net neutrality rules as these companies become very intermingled with internet service providers such as AT&T, many of which mobile broadband, and then their content distribution and how those two become intertwined. So what you're going to be watching is that AT&T's unlimited wireless customers will get the service for free, and that they're going to be able to watch any content that they have. So the programming, they're going to have their own television program free to its mobile customers, as opposed to anybody else's content is going to play into your data. So as that goes out, the implications could be pretty far-reaching. I was jumping around the internet. There's some interesting articles on it. And TFNN, again, is a media company. So for a great example, you have AT&T, Time Warner. They own the likes of HBO. They also own DirecTV already. And so you have AT&T, one of the largest broadband and wireless providers in the country, and Time Warner, a major media company, and they're merging without any conditions now. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have these companies prioritizing their own content. And so you've seen many of these companies, the likes of AT&T, talking about that they will not throttle speeds, they will not prioritize speeds of distribution, which technically they will be able to do without the rules of net neutrality, but with the public backlash slightly, they are already coming out. But what you're going to see is these types of nuanced deals that are going to allow internet service providers, content distributors, to prioritize their own content. And so what happens here is that things are going to become merged. So AT&T already owns one of the largest broadband networks in the U.S. and is the second largest wireless provider in the nation by subscribers. So with Time Warner deal, they have all their media properties, and if you begin to not count that against data distribution, so without net neutrality protections in place, AT&T will be free to block, slow down, or charge fees to competitors, which they've said they're not going to do. But what I want to bring in, because this is so interesting, and because it's basically new territory we're dealing with, as in net neutrality is literally occurring as we speak, and there's battles in the courts as to how that's going to play out. But with media companies now merging with these internet service providers, what's going to happen is these zero rating plans, okay, in which AT&T exempts certain content on its network from data caps. So, for instance, TFNN, let's just say AT&T, DirecTV, let's say HBO starts a brand new financial network, and you're an AT&T customer, and you're running up to your data limits. Well, what's going to happen is you can watch the HBO program without including any data whatsoever against your plan. But if you pull up a TFNN program, you're going to count against your data. And so by prioritizing those different content deals, and as these companies continue to merge and solidify, you're going to see those preferences. And that's where things will get interesting. And so there's sides on each side. If you want to call in and you have a view, I would love to hear an educated view on how this plays out and how that is a good thing for consumers. So the zero rating plans, if you're an AT&T subscriber, might seem good. But what happens if you're an AT&T subscriber that enjoys small market financial programs and HBO goes up there? What if you presume any program? We're just a financial media company, so how that plays out. Now, here's where things get interesting, is that, and I'm trying to find this article on the right point, and I'm just reading, this is a CNET article that came out today, and they just had a lot of good points because it's a complicated issue, and that's where, you know, when you hear the net neutrality and you hear about throttling speeds, right, that one company is going to have the fast lane, which is the common term you hear, and the other company is going to have the slow lanes. But there's many different avenues as to how you can make the internet unfair if you are the internet service provider and you are also simultaneously the holder of that content. So as this goes through, what you see here, and I'm trying to find the article, the point, because this is a great article with lots of points. And let me just slide up to where we are. So when net neutrality was already in place, AT&T had similar plans. So the former net neutrality rules, I'm reading now from this article, specifically banned broadband and wireless providers from slowing or blocking access to certain sites. And it also banned paid prioritizing and allowing network operators to charge companies. Well, that's done away with, no matter how you spin it. Okay, if there's no net neutrality, you can charge people if you'd like. But the rules didn't specify the zero rating. So instead, regulations included a so-called general conduct rule that allowed the FCC to look to suspected anti-competitive behavior on a case-by-case basis. So where this becomes murky is if this becomes an industry-wide practice. I don't see how that becomes anti-competitive when you have a few companies who are going to basically own all of the content that they are distributing, battling it out to prioritize and give basically dataless use of their content when data is so expensive. We all know that data, if you start streaming everything on your mobile phone, your home, wherever you are, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This deal was just approved days ago. Net neutrality was just done away with days ago, and already these plans are popping up. So it's something that you want to pay attention to and be aware of. Hopefully we can get some good, bright minds to come on here for some interviews, because it's a highly complicated subject. And you can just see by this type of action in these internet service providers, I mean, you want competition on the internet. And so we'll see where that shakes out. Okay, let's check back on the charts and see where we are. Currently, NASDAQ 100 trading 2781. We'll see. We got about 35 minutes left in the trading day. It seems like that run that we had at 2 o'clock might have sputtered out. You have the Dow at 25,085, pretty much been in that 5 to 10 point trading range in the last 10 minutes. And S&P is similar, trading at 2782 as we wait for that closing bell on Friday. And come on back, folks. Technology, NASDAQ at all-time highs yesterday. We'll see what our man David White has in store for us for that tech sector, tech segment, closing out the trading week. And let's check on where we sit right now. You got the Dow currently negative 99 points. You got the S&P's negative by about 5, and you got NASDAQ negative by 16. We'll be right back, folks.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien filling in for Tom. He'll be back on Monday. Dow Jones negative 94, trading at 25,081. S&P's barely flat. NASDAQ off 13 points as well. So it's that time of the week, 3:30. We are joined by our man David White for the tech segment, Technology, wrapping up the week. Dave, happy Friday, man.
Happy quad witching.
Happy quad witching. I know. I love it. The den's rocking and rolling today, folks. Quad witching. It goes with the market. Quite that 2 p.m., right? Man, quite an acceleration.
Yeah, it's, I mean, what we had 3-4 years of quiet expirations for the most part. I suspect they're coming back. I think the QE had a lot to do with it. And now that we're siphoning that money out, the money's starting to flow to different spots. But yeah, quad witching out here. I heard you talking about net neutrality.
I was going to ask you your take because, I mean, we're on the forefront of this changing, you know, so it's interesting just to get takes on how that'll play out.
Well,
what's your opinion on kind of what I was talking about, and as these companies continue to merge, how that might play out?
Well, a double-edged sword. Everybody that wants net neutrality wants to put in basically the worst kind of Stasi-style censorship that they can find. So net neutrality, good ideal. Unfortunately, all the people around it want to make sure what you can read and what you can't by setting up gatekeepers, and they vocally admitted that that's what they wanted to do, including some of the FCC people that have left. So, unfortunately, you've got some of the most evil people, in my opinion, surrounding it for what is a fairly decent idea, which is just saying treat every packet the same. But there's always, you've got to watch it when you get with politicians. They always want control, and so it would be a wonderful thing. And unfortunately, people are trying to tack on things that are maybe the most evil when it comes to the First Amendment. So that's the first part of it. It's not just net neutrality. It's net neutrality with some horrible cancer along with it.
Although so was that happening, though, when those rules, I mean, were ISPs banning certain content?
They were vocally trying to pass things that would let's say you didn't like a Drudge website, you're not going to be able to see it. I mean, I guess,
but where are the details on that? As in, okay, they're trying to pass it, but net neutrality existed, as in it existed in its form, right? So trying to change that,
they couldn't. There were 3 and 3 on the FCC board.
Yes,
and they couldn't get it passed. It would have gone 4-3 if the election, or I mean 4-2 if the election went the other way, and it didn't. So basically, we were on the doorstep of some people that really wanted and thought that censorship was a key ingredient of net neutrality. I would have liked to seen those issues divided.
Sure, no, I mean that's why I bring it up, because I haven't heard that. Okay, so and that's where, but that doesn't mean that you have to allow throttling, which is basically what is allowed right now.
Yes, unfortunately.
That's where I don't understand how that. You know, I'm not saying with you. It's like, okay, well that's great, but why allow
all that stuff? All the stuff that was great got stuff tacked onto it in bills in Congress and in the FCC that basically were at least some form of mild, if not objective censorship on the internet. Everybody in politics would love to be able to shut down anybody that says something nasty about them. And that was the big problem. It wasn't that no one...
But that hadn't even occurred yet, you were saying. They were just trying to do that.
It was very close.
Okay, but it hadn't occurred, and now we're back to where net neutrality is gone. So, you know, just to bring in, like, I agree with you, censorship.
We're right back to, in Congress, those same bills coming up. So, again, I guess since that's not going to happen for the next few times, or in the next future, we're looking at 2 things. One, these big BMOS.
Yes.
And then other companies that are going to go 5G.
Sure.
The big problem with getting internet to your house anyway has been getting access to the poles, the telephone poles that drag the cable to your house.
Sure.
Now that we go to 5G, that doesn't matter anymore.
Okay.
Anybody that can put an antenna on a tower can be a internet provider. And with new 5G speeds, there's going to be some fairly stiff competition in that market.
That would be nice.
I think... In fact, I've got a telephone pole that was put, I'm going to say less than 50 yards from me, put in. And that is going to be T-Mobile's 1 gigabit per second home delivery of internet connectivity with no throttling or anything.
Okay.
Now, they put it in. I've seen them drop the lines and dig up the sidewalks and put it all in over the last month. Unclear when it's actually going to go online, but from the guy that was digging the ditch, he thought that they said that they would be putting it in or starting it up in September. So we're getting pretty close to that level where there'll be alternatives, i.e. wireless alternatives. And as long as you can get a license for your broadcast, the whole thing of being able to be, it used to be called the last mile, right?
Yes.
Last mile to your house, because it was easy to drag fiber into the neighborhood.
Yeah, that one big wire that was ready for the neighborhood, right? But then you have to drop a line to every single literal cable unit in their living room,
in
right?
the house.
Yeah.
And that was it. Now, with the going to higher frequencies for 5G and being able to go to, in fact, incredibly wild 60 gigahertz service. Starting off, it's going to be 6 gigahertz. So it's going to be kind of like satellite frequencies.
Okay.
Very high up there.
Okay.
And I think technology is kind of head these guys off at the pass, because unless you're talking about literally using your phone, and even when I'm here on my phone, I'm actually using my wireless service and my router, right?
Sure, right. If you're around any Wi-Fi, like my phone in the office, I'm hooked up to TFNN Wi-Fi, right? It's only when you're outside of your home or work internet that you're forced to use that actual mobile service, yeah.
Okay. Now, the Justice Department has told these folks that if they use their position to X out other competitors, that they would go after them for antitrust.
That's where I see it's interesting, and I bring it up because I don't see how
it goes out of the FCC's department
right.
and into the Justice Department.
I just don't see how you don't see that story that I talked about, anti-competitive, when they're going to own so much content and it's not going to apply to the data, alone.
I think it has to do with the fact that everybody says that they're more than willing to go after them in the Justice Department if they do it.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's happening right now. Like, that plan is out there. I don't understand how AT&T not going to charge data for their own content when they own so much content now in terms of DirecTV, with HBO, with Time Warner. That's quite a library that won't apply to your own data automatically.
Right, but does that doesn't occur on your landline or your home, only on your phone.
Yeah, no, I agree. But
so
it's either anti-competitive or not. I mean, you know what I mean? I
thought it would be if that applied to your home, where you're sitting down and watching, binge watching something, and you use up all your minutes for something. I think that would be a big deal.
Yeah.
But I don't think most people using their phone in their cars calling people.
But just because it's not a big deal doesn't mean it can't be a small deal. I mean, that's where, it's like...
It could be a small deal, but my guess is that they've already warned them in all the court cases going up to this that they would go after them for antitrust.
And I think that it's going to be a nuanced deal, right? It really is. Yeah. That's why I bring it up. All right, folks, we'll come on back. We'll dig into that technology sector.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live, and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tom takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien. I'm joined with our man Dave White. And it's funny, Dave, I got to bring it up. News breaking right there. Time Warner is changing its name to Warner Media. So they're always going to be in the press. Anyway, Dow down 107, folks. S&P down 4 points. So, Dave, where are we going? What do you got teed up for us this afternoon?
ADYEN, A-D-Y-E-N, one of the biggest tech IPOs in Europe last week. I just thought I'm starting to point out a few of these IPOs because there's actually some of these that seem rather interesting to the ones that were just Me Too social media for the last couple of years.
Okay.
This one is very much kind of like a PayPal for just about all the countries out there. It has been around for a while. There's going to be an ADR after about 6 months, so you're going to probably be hearing about this in a bit.
Okay.
But it's going to take about 6 months for ADRs for it to be in the United States. But it was the biggest tech IPO in Europe in the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years.
And I'm seeing 12-year-old company, man. That's old by technology standards.
It is, and it's taken a while. It's not flaky. It had about 80 million euros in 2018 so far. I mean,
they have net income to go with it. You love to see that, man. Net income as they come to IPO with over €1 billion in revenue for 2017. Nice.
Yeah. So there is a lot going on in that company. You're not going to hear about it for a while. When it becomes an ADR here in the United States and you can trade it, you probably will.
Definitely.
It seems like a solid company, not a lot of fly-by-night kind of stuff. Just thought I'd bring that up. You want to be thinking about that. Probably in about 6 months, so before Christmas probably is an ADR. Another one that went public actually today here in the United States is another one that is very interesting to me. It's Avalar. This is a cloud-based solution that helps businesses take care of and comply with tax requirements for every little hamlet under the sun here in the United States.
Okay.
So if you're shipping things left and right and you want to be ready to go for your compliance solution, a lot of these systems basically just let you put a terminal in your business and they take care of all the software. So there's a lot of them that do this for kind of like Workday for businesses and taking care of employees and HR solutions.
Sure.
This is kind of that same thing, a little bit more narrowly addressed, just for tax issues, for you handling sales tax in all the different little hamlets.
Do they deal with tariff issues too? No, sorry.
Yeah.
Right? No. Yeah.
No, they will.
I bet. No, I joke. But as it becomes a more real deal, if you're doing business worldwide, I'm sure the regulations, imports, exports, I have no understanding. I mean, I can only imagine, right, what comes into that on a worldwide basis.
Right. So that one, I don't know if it's so much about the tariffs, but I do think that especially now that some of the last states out here where you could not collect sales tax, are coming in.
Yes.
You really have to make sure if you're an online retailer in America that you are doing it.
You're up to speed with those regulations.
Well,
and
yeah, Amazon kind of lets that up to whoever sells the product on their website. So there's still some people kind of skirting this issue. Part of it is that it is a huge expense for business. And this brings it down to something more manageable. You've got one person or one company actually making sure that it's right across every hamlet instead of everybody duplicating that effort. There really isn't a lot of people in this tax requirements business. They all tend to be catering to the Fortune 100 companies.
Okay.
Right? So this one's kind of one where you can even be kind of a small guy.
Sure. If TFNN was going to do it, right? If we were servicing goods worldwide or something like that, yeah.
Right. If you were shipping product.
Yes, sir. Right. No, goods. Yeah, is that right?
So
sure.
Kind of interesting. Do you know who TCL is?
I don't. When it first popped up, my brain, I must be a little dyslexic. I said TLC, 10 to 11 care. No, TCL. Okay, go for it.
TCL. Would you be surprised to figure out that they are the third largest television manufacturer in the United States?
Wow.
And you've never heard of them?
Pretty remarkable.
The reason why? Amazon. Amazon's picked up this company, which is actually third in the world also.
Okay.
All the TVs used to be made in either Taiwan or in South Korea and or Japan. This has been around for about, I think, since about 2010. But these guys now got linked into Amazon.
Okay.
And the reviews have been real good. And it's gone from basically a trickle a year ago to being the biggest selling TV on Amazon, which makes it the monster.
Wow.
The TVs aren't everything that you want to get from maybe a Sony or
Sure.
a high-end product. But if you're buying a $500 TV, it's maybe $400 for something 97% as good as the higher end brand.
Right. I mean, nowadays, I agree. I mean, I bought TVs myself about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And even then, you know, I didn't need to go for the El Primo TV. And I have an amazing TV in the same regard, you know, where it's like you don't need, I feel like, the top-end TV anymore because things do excel so well at the lower end. And I'm already over there on Amazon searching, Googling TCL TV if anybody does. And they got them everywhere, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, this is the first real big product category outside of smartphones for China. But
okay.
Smartphones that they've made have all been kind of cheap in China. There's nothing that really competes with a Samsung or an Apple product really
Sure.
to this point. So it's all based on price. This one kind of is, but I'm going to say that their phones are all under $100 stuff, right? It only sold as a price competitive issue. This
Definitely.
one is, you know, 20% the price of a bigger name brand. So this one's actually doing fairly well. The cases may be just a little cheaper, but you're probably going to hear a lot more about this company in the very near future because if they continue growing anywhere the way that they did in last year, this is going to be a monster for China exporting televisions.
And
which there's not a lot of mystery in it.
Are they publicly traded right now, this company?
I don't know if they
Okay.
are there. It's in China.
Okay,
I didn't
cool.
see anything
I was just
out there
curious.
that
Yep.
suggested that. It's just that China made a lot of TVs, but they were all displays from South Korea and electronics from Malaysia and everything else. These are literally everything, the screens, everything made in China.
It's fully there. Cool.
Fully institutionalized there. Intel is going to have its own line of graphics cards and compete against AMD and
Okay.
NVIDIA. We didn't know exactly when. They stole the premier guy from ATI and AMD away. What was it? A few
Nothing
months
like good
ago?
talent, man, in terms of paying
Yeah.
for good talent, right? Totally.
They went and poached him from ATI's AMD or ATI's division
Sure.
of AMD, right?
There'll be some lawsuits over that, I'm sure, but it won't matter by the time.
No, there wasn't.
No? Okay.
They actually parted ways. I think a lot of people wanted to do different things, but
The lawyers covered their bases somehow before they got it done.
yeah, but Intel shipping date first quarter of 2020.
And that's quick, man. That's quick, as in you're going to start seeing expectations coming in, I'm sure, 2019 if they're really shipping items by 2020.
Yep, or putting it in the processor itself.
Nice. Come on back, folks. We'll finish up the hour. Dow, negative 115.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien filling in for Tom. We got the Dow down about 120 as we come in the final few minutes of this market. So I see Tesla up there, Dave.
Mr. Musk is tweeting today again. He's saying that they will enable full self-driving features.
Scary reality we live in, because I don't know if I trust those full self-driving. And he is a PR genius, but I need details on that one, man, right?
Well, you know, basically he's got these big warrants out, and if for every, I think it's $25 below 330 next year that Tesla closes, it's $1 billion that they'll have to come up with.
Wow.
They need $10 billion to build, just to come close to building anything that they've talked about.
Wow.
Because they really haven't gotten the facilities to build the kind of volume that they say.
Sure.
They haven't even started or broken ground for their trucks.
Yeah. They got a lot of big plans, right? I know. And they all take billions, yeah.
And then, of course, if you look at his tunnel boring project, he's got deals now with two cities that are totally broke. And I don't know how he's ever going to get any money out of these guys, but it's a good PR move.
Oh, he is a PR genius, man. That is something that I think,
it's all cotton candy when you try to,
Right. No, I agree. It's just PR. It's nothing else. Right. It's just public relations and nothing more, it seems, until they put it out.
Right. Now, of course, Intel signed a contract for $8 billion with BMW, I think, and Mercedes both.
Okay.
For self-driving cars when they bought Mobileye for $16 billion.
Okay.
So at least they're going to have some money coming back in.
Okay.
But that's supposed to come out next year, and my guess is that he's saying that they may have this out in September. And maybe it's out with these guys.
Yeah, I would second guess anything he's saying.
Never hurts to cut everybody off at the pass.
Yeah, right. Dave, thanks so much, man. We appreciate the segment. Folks, check out Dave's newsletter, Path of Least Resistance, The Tech Insider, both amazing newsletters. And everybody, have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Have a great one. Have a safe one. We look forward to seeing you back here Monday morning, 9 a.m. live.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.